Hey, what's good, guys? Gonna do a quick watch list recap here and then go over the game plan for tomorrow. Right off the bat, we talked about this morning looking at big names that are setting up for rejections, right? So we know that when we're playing rejections, we're letting the stock trade up into our supply, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit the downside, right? Exact opposite of a bounce. Zoom didn't really give it to us. I usually don't take a rejection or a bounce if it takes past 10 a.m., right? So after the first half hour, because you're gonna not get, really the volatility and the volume and aggressiveness that you need. So really with rejections and bounces, guys, we're sticking to that first half hour of the market for the most part, right? I'll let you guys know otherwise, but that's just in general. We take those only in the first half hour. So we didn't really get that in Zoom, didn't get it in Boeing. It came down to 236.5, but didn't really get to our 236 spot, which was the 200-day moving average, and it did bounce off 236.5, but it didn't come down enough to entice me, and it was later in the day. But the star of the day, guys, Moderna. This thing was just an absolutely beautiful setup. 402 rejection, absolutely printed for 150% gain, gave us a $24 move. I went ahead and sold a little bit of my contracts for 55% gain, got all out at 75%, and then obviously watched it go another 75%. But you really can't be mad with that. That was 10 minutes into the market. We caught that move. And let's go and let's take a look at the chart here and see what went on there. So like I talk about with you guys, right, we're looking at the 5-minute, but we want to confirm with the 60-minute, right? So we confirm with the 60-minute, always confirm with the daily too. The daily looked good. We'll look at that later, but the 60-minute, right, yesterday we were trading below really important moving averages all day, and then today we kind of gap up a little right up into that supply, right? So that's what kind of tells me this looks prime for rejection, because we have room down to the 200-day moving average at 364. So I want to capitalize this. It looks overextended to me. I think that the institutions are going to step in here and short it, which is exactly what they did. And we'll see that if we go to the 5-minute. Look at those first 3 candles of open. Got a little nervous at first, right? They put in a little tiny spike. I started thinking, okay. In my head, if this trade goes sideways, if the second 5-minute candle starts pushing up to the 200-day moving average, then I'm going to cut the trade, right? Fortunately, that didn't happen. The institution stepped in with some size, just like we expected, some beautiful volume here. Went ahead and shorted that thing. So we caught our entry right here, right? Rejection of the 100-day moving average. Went ahead and traded down. Once it started getting down to like 389, that's when I started securing profit, because there was a bounce spot here on that 20-day and 50-day. And then once it got down to 383, I cut my runners, which was the 50-day moving average, and this thing was just a beast. It blew all the way down to 377. Perfect prime first 30-minute of open scalp setup. That's about as good as it gets right there. So now looking to tomorrow, guys, I only took one trade today. In July, I was extremely aggressive, right? Taking 3-4 trades a day. It was a very aggressive, volatile, high volume month, right? July was amazing. In August, you're starting to see the market tighten up a little as we end summer. So my game plan for tomorrow is half position size, right? So I always set a standard for myself. If it looks like a really juicy setup day, and this is just a general game plan, keep in mind, this will all be confirmed in the morning based on pre-market action and based on how we open. But right now it looks like, I usually set full position size day. I'm putting my foot on the gas and I'm taking advantage of the market. Half position size day is when it looks a little bit kind of closed up a little. And then obviously quarter position size is when the market just has no volume. So those are the 3 standards I follow: quarter, half, and full. Sometimes I do a third if it's a little murky. But this is just a way to still keep some skin in the game. You're still trading, but you're managing your risk, right? So, think about it, guys. If the volume isn't there and, the market is just consolidating really tight and you're just not getting big moves, that's how we get burned as options traders, especially on Thursdays and Fridays. So this is the time to half position size at the max, I would say. So with that being said, until we get aggressive macro confirmation, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll look at the charts, but if we start confirming on the macro, obviously we can adapt as the day moves on and we can always shift to full position size and start getting aggressive. So let's take a look at the charts and see what that might look like. So guys, when we're looking at the macro view on SPY, right, I talked about July was a great month overall, right? And you see the big volume all throughout the month, and now right here, not that far back, all throughout the month, right? And now, even despite SPY putting in all-time highs, right, the volume is weak. Volume is very weak. And then if we go to the Qs, right, because you guys know to catch the best moves, we're usually trading tech, Tesla, Amazon's, Roku, Square, right, et cetera, et cetera. We are still consolidating on that 20-day moving average. Now, this could all change, okay? You always have to be prepared for some kind of big headline or whatever the case may be. If we slip and the volume steps in, you know, we have room down to that 50-day moving average on the Qs. We've done it before. I don't think it's likely, though. So with that in mind, I just want to pick my battles, relative strength. Stocks that look good and have been in a nice little uptrend, I'll go ahead and bounce them. Stocks that are looking weak like Moderna, I want to reject those. Okay guys, so that's just overall macro view. I want to go a little more in depth on this in tomorrow's video, but we'll call it here for now. You know, keep an eye on Titan Flow. If you're subscribed to Titan Flow, we'll have the official watch list up in the morning, and I'll give you guys updates on Twitter. All right, have a good night, everybody.